Good morning, all. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Pattersonell Properties. Didn't think I was going to do another video this month. I figured I'd just do one video a month, but I had something on my mind, so I figured I'd talk to you all about it. Hopefully, good morning. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. And then, two, to all my investors out there, hopefully you're waking up and got good things on your mind, reading from the greats, and reading even things that are outside of your norm, so you can just make your brain think on a different level and all that good stuff. And of course, when it comes down to it, always get your rich dad, poor dad, and that's always a beautiful thing. But anyways, outside of the knowledge, obviously you got to do action and go into implementation. Now, the thing that was on my mind is one's personal home. A lot of places like the DMV, Washington, D.C., metropolitan Northern Virginia area, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, Los Angeles, San Diego, Seattle, areas like that where you see a lot of, I won't say Seattle, but areas where you see a lot of single family homes going up. And a lot of people get excited when they get those single family homes. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if you look at it from an investor's mindset and just from a person who has a job and is going to get a nice house mindset, you say to yourself, is a single family house really, is really an asset? The only way it's really an asset is if you can, if the banks will allow you to borrow against the home, a HELOC or anything of that nature, where you can borrow up to $30 to $50 to sometimes $60,000. And then you obviously, by being a smart investor, you do the smart thing by putting it into a cash flowing asset, no matter what that asset may be, a home, a duplex, a multi-unit, etc. But that's the only way I really see a single family home becoming an asset for you. Or if you live in an area where the value goes up, i.e. you bought the home for $300,000 and a year or two later or 3 or 5 years later, the value goes up to $30 to $50 to $100,000, then it could be an asset in those two aspects. So it goes up in value, or you can borrow against it so you can use that money to make you more money. So that's really how, from an investor's mind state, how you can see a single family home being an asset. And the person I was listening to on YouTube, he gave me this idea because his first property that he purchased out of college, it was a multi-unit, a 3-unit building, and he lived in one of the units and he rented out the other 2 units. He never paid for his mortgage. And so he was able to pay his mortgage off and he was able to collect cash flow. And then within the 6 month to a year time frame, he was able to buy 2 more properties doing the same thing. And after 2 years, he was able to have financial freedom and no longer worried about having a job. He started his own little real estate company and his own little educational company online, where he basically does mentorship and he educates people in regards to not only real estate investment, but other aspects of financial intelligence all at the same time. In a sense, it's kind of the same pathway I'm on, and hopefully it's the same path that you're on, so you can not only have your financial freedom, but then you can have actual assets, and the words assets, to hand down to your family and to basically involve your children, cousins, sisters, brothers in regards to these financial intelligence discussions, implementation patterns, and things of that nature, so you can ensure that everybody in your family has an asset that's not only performing, and even if you want to work a job, you have an asset that's performing, and you get to the point in life where you don't have to worry about your job. You can even become stagnated at your job if you wanted to, so you can just focus on your asset accumulation to make that grow. So there's so many aspects, so many ways to look at it, and so many ways to approach it. But that's just one great way, especially I always say if you're fresh out of the military, especially if you're fresh out of the military, fresh out of college. A lot of times, even some people will purchase a delinquent tax property, and they won't even have to, and depending on the amount, because sometimes those delinquent tax properties, they're already paid off. So especially if you like in the Midwest and in the South and all that good stuff, where the real estate is 10 times cheaper, you could definitely grow your assets from that aspect. Like I'm doing my in the Midwest and Northeast, and eventually probably in the South, but I'm mostly trying to look in the Southwest area. But it's just one way to look at it, so you don't just have to be beholden to a single family home. Yes, it is nice to have. Yes, it's nice to be in those kind of neighborhoods. But if it's just constantly sucking you dry like a leech, because that's what single family homes have become for a lot of people, financial leeches, then there's no point and even really purchasing it unless you're at a point in life where you have multiple assets coming left and right. So you don't have to worry about your single family home that's being taken care of, that's good, and you can just focus more on asset accumulation. So just something to think about, especially for the people that are just starting out in life. Don't always have to start so big, and if you do start big, make sure that it's an asset, producing asset, instead of just a home that you have with a big fat mortgage and it's just sucking your bank account dry, where you're barely getting by and you're in a term that my mother calls house poor. So if you guys found value in the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please continue to strive and do what you're doing. It doesn't matter where you start, it always matters where you end. So take care and have a great Saturday.